Cloud.
Recording in progress.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Welcome to the iBUG Introductory Mac Training course for Tuesday, November 2nd, 2021. We will be covering how to use TextEdit with VoiceOver tonight. Before we actually get to our lesson, though, I just want to remind you, first of all, as I was doing, get the Got It button that always comes up when the meeting is being recorded. And secondly, we were just speaking about the iBUG Mac Buzz a minute ago. It's a great place to ask questions like erroneous behavior of VoiceOver and login window. Anyway, that takes place from 5 to 7 p.m. tomorrow, usually the first and third Wednesdays of the month. And on Thursday, for iBUG Trekkie Talk, they're watching Star Trek Discovery Season 3. For the details on the episodes, visit our website, ibugtoday.org, or our Facebook, facebook.com/groups/ibugtoday. And you can also receive our announcements on our Twitter at iBugToday. As far as other things this week, on Friday, we have iBUG Night at the Virtual Movies beginning at 7:30 with a pre-movie social, followed by the movie, which is Meet the Parents. That begins at 8, and a discussion follows. And on Saturday, we have It's iBUG's Life, and I believe that is at 8 p.m. Central. That will take place on Clubhouse. The topic is, what would you do if you could see? Now we've gotten those announcements out of the way, it is time to go through our Safari focus questions. It's been a couple weeks, but let's get started. So just let me know if you have an answer, partial answer, whatever, say your name, and then we'll get going. So what are the 3 methods of using the rotor in Safari? Who would like to answer that?
Donna?
Yes, Donna.
The trackpad, quick nav, and VOU.
Yes, excellent. Good job. Okay. Now I've got to find the question I marked next. Okay. How do you enable quick nav?
Judy.
Judy.
The right and left arrow keys.
Yep, press down together. Perfect. Okay, how do you move forward and backward through choices in the quick nav rotor? How do you move by the selected choice or element?
Elvia?
Yes, Elvia.
Is it the right arrow and the up arrow to go right to the choices? And then you can use the down arrow? Or you could go back by going the opposite way with the left arrow and the up arrow.
Perfect. Awesome. Yep. All right. What is the command to toggle single key web page navigation? If you don't have a nice little activity built for it as Cliff does, how can we regular people toggle it? No, just kidding. How can we toggle? Yeah, go ahead.
VOQ.
Excellent. All right. VOQ it is. Okay. So who can identify some of the quick nav keys? So just maybe say your name and say a key that you know of and what it does. Like the single keys.
Daryl?
Yeah, Daryl.
The H would take you to the headings.
Perfect. And let's see if somebody else knows something.
Okay.
Donna?
Donna?
The L would take you to a link.
Awesome.
Judy.
Judy, yep.
V for visited link.
Perfect.
Elvia?
Yes, Elvia?
F for forms? Or
Yeah.
And then to go
Okay.
back, one is this. You do the shift F or something like that.
Yep, to go to the previous one. Yeah. Okay, great. Anyone else? Nope, that's okay. You covered the basics. We have like B and Shift B for button, T and Shift T for tables, L for lists, C for checkboxes. Oh no, I'm sorry. L was links. Oh dear. The students know that it was X for list. Okay. Alrighty. But everybody did a great job. Okay. What problem occurs when you move to a form field with QuickNav on and you begin typing? How are you able to work around that problem? I guess I should have said with single key website navigation on. That would have been more accurate.
Yeah.
Yes, Elvia?
It keeps moving you around the screen because you have the nav keys on. So it's assuming it's doing or if you have the VOQ, like the VOQ to do the quick nav. And so it wants to take you to something else, but you're not able to do anything. To do that, you just turn it off by pressing the VOQ again or the left and right.
Yep, perfect. Yeah, it wants to take you to a heading or a link or whatever because it's
Yeah.
interpreting those. Yeah,
Mhm.
excellent. Okay, let's see. Oh, Braille display is getting ahead of me. Okay. Okay, so what is the command to bring up the web rotor? And how do you navigate among web rotor items?
Elvia, is that the one we just went over today?
It is.
Okay, let's see if I remember this. The VOU,
Uh-huh.
and then would I do the VO right arrows?
Yeah, or just, left and right
Or the right?
arrows. That works too. Either one.
Okay. And then I can go down arrow.
Yep.
And
Or
then when
use
I
first letter navigation.
first letter navigation, right? And then I could also to select it, I just press the enter key or the VO space key or the up and down arrows on the nav.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I got
Very good. All right. What are the 3 methods of activating links, which actually you mentioned? So, basically you mentioned Elvia as which, you were talking about using it in the web rotor, but, it also works to activate links with enter, the up and down arrow, or VO space. So, all right.
when I heard that question, Chanel, I thought you meant how do you activate the link? I thought you were like saying, oh yeah, that's what I did say that. I did say VO space, enter, and okay, yep, never mind.
Yeah.
My bad. I got it right.
And
Okay.
yep, you can, yep. All right. So, because you were talking about using those, in the web rotor, but you can
Right.
also just use that when you come to, any link on a web page. So
Mhm.
there you go. Okay, if you don't want to look for a particular item in the web rotor, what is another way to find it?
Elvia?
Yes, Elvia?
I'm not sure, but can you do the command F to find?
Yeah, actually, I was thinking of VOF. Yep.
Oh, VOF. Okay.
Uh-huh,
I get
very
those
good.
confused.
Yeah, VOF is more like it will let you search everything on a page and it's a little bit more, it'll actually take you to that. So that's Control Option F or Caps Lock F. The Command F is a bit more limiting. I would
Okay.
maybe use that from within the text of a document or something, but
Okay.
there we go. All right. What are 2 ways to read and move through web content? So, like reading a text of an article.
This is Judy.
Yeah, Judy.
Is one way you right arrow and it like reads a block of text?
Uh-huh. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, so basically right and left if QuickNav is on or VO left and VO right kind of moves through blocks or chunks. And then if maybe you want to read a line at a time, particularly if you're actually in an article, then up and down arrow with QuickNav off will do that trick as well. will let you kind of read as if you're in a document. There are some limitations. It doesn't always work everywhere, but that is an option. Okay, speaking of reading, how do you enable the reader view?
Elvia,
Yes, Elvia?
Command Shift R.
Very good. Okay, actually, I should be checking on our time. Okay, we can go a couple more minutes. All right. How do you bring up the context menu for an item? We've covered this in a couple lessons, but
Elvia, VO Shift M.
very good. Guess I should have asked you what you might find in the context menu.
Things like back or what do they ask you in there? Save maybe, depending what you're doing, right? Like
Right,
download.
depends on what you're doing. Yep.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
All right, great. Okay, what is the shortcut to download a linked file?
Well, I don't know. This is Elvia. I was listening to that part of I don't know how shortcut of it is, but I heard you say, was it Control Option Enter or Option Enter, something like that?
Option Enter. Yep,
Option
perfect.
Enter. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then you had to do you were doing a lot of things in there. So it got me a little bit confused.
Yeah, I was just showing you all the different ways that you could download it. First of all, we played the file. I wanted to show you what happened if we just pressed enter, and that just played the file. But then if you wanted to just download it, without playing it, that's where we either did the context menu or we did option enter.
Okay.
Yep.
But the option enter, it doesn't download it. It takes you to the area where you can look for the downloaded, right? I got confused with that.
Okay, option enter, yeah, it downloads it. The question is whether it will bring up for you a dialog to save it. I don't think it did. I think it just downloads the file to wherever you've set for your default downloads, and somebody could correct me if I'm wrong. For me, since I have Safari ask me each time, I did get the save dialog, and I need to remember, I guess, next time and to just not change that. Whatever. But it should save to wherever you have specified Safari to save downloads, which if you haven't changed that setting is just downloads. So,
Okay.
Yep. All right. And the last question for now, what are 2 ways to view bookmarks? That one was kind of actually, and I forgot I had more questions in here, but basically either going to the menu bar and then with VOM and then arrowing over to bookmarks. And then if you can get this to work, Command Shift B in Safari, and then you would use VOJ to get in there and either look at your different bookmark categories or search. Another thing I talked about, if you have certain things in favorites, you can go to like your first 9 sites in there with the command and option keys and the numbers 1 through 9. So it might just be easier to go into the menu bar. That's what I did for a few years after I began using my Mac, but then I kind of looked at some of the other ways later on. So then, okay, here's the final question. What is the command to autofill a web form? And the same command, what does it do if you're in the Finder or in a Zoom meeting? Yeah.
Command Shift A.
Very good.
And if you're in a Zoom meeting, that would mute and unmute you on the Mac.
Yep.
And if you're on the Finder menu, it'll take you to the applications menu. Application.
Excellent. All right. Awesome. Okay, well, we are ready to get started with TextEdit, and I am going to start sharing my screen.
You have started computer audio share.
All right, so with TextEdit, first of all, what is it? It is the Mac's default word processor. Some people call it a text editor. I actually call it a word processor because you can edit both rich and plain text documents, and you're able to apply some things, some basic formatting, fonts, center align text. You can even create some bulleted lists and things like that. And people don't use TextEdit, or they don't think of it because by default their documents seem to open in Pages or Word. So actually the first thing I'm going to show you tonight is how to change where certain files open. And to do that, I'm going to find my TextEdit demonstration folder. It is in iCloud Drive and Documents, so I'm now going to my desktop with VO-Shift-D.
Desktop, group,
And now I'm going to do
Actions
Command
available.
Shift-O for Documents.
Documents, list, documents, window,
And this is in column view, even though it said list, so I'm now going to right arrow to open the Documents folder.
PerkyDuck autosaves, folder,
And that's from a program I had on my Mac a while ago called PerkyDuck for Braille transcription. Anyway, I am now going to type TE
TextEdit demonstration,
for
folder,
TextEdit, and then right arrow.
list, one item selected. Mac Basics for the beginning user doc, Microsoft Word 97 2004 document.
What I've done is copied 2 files in this folder. They actually have the same name but different extensions. There's some other files we will get to as well. But I want to show you the file information dialog, which you can get to with the VO-Shift-M for context menu, or you can simply press Command-I. And we'll just go through this dialog so you can hear what's here. There aren't too many important things, but it's useful to know about what you might find. So here we go, Command-I.
Get info, Mac Basics for the beginning user doc info, window, Mac Basics for the beginning user doc, image, Mac Basics for the beginning user doc, image,
As VoiceOver is incredibly verbose, let's VO right.
200 KB,
We just get the file size,
September 7th, 2018 at 02:31. Modified.
date
Tag
modified.
editor add tags. Edit.
If you wanted to put tags, maybe I could just put an actual tag called demo. Might be useful for all of these documents that I use in demos, but anyway.
General, expanded, disclosure triangle. Microsoft Word 97 2004 document. Kind.
So it tells you what kind of file it is.
200,192 byte iCloud Drive right pointing small triangle documents right pointing small triangle text edit demonstration. Where?
So if you want to know, well, the precise size of your file, and if you want to know actually the location, because sometimes you might do a search in Finder, or a Spotlight search with Command Space, type in a file name, and you want to know its location. This is one way to do that. I think another way is actually Command R as well, but you can find out that info in the file info dialog. Let's keep going. We are actually looking for the word open with.
September 7th, 2018 at 0. September 7th. Stationary pad. Unchecked. Locked. Unchecked. More info. Expanded. Last opened. Sunday, May 10th. Authors. Chanel. Name and Mac Basics for the beginning user doc. Contents selected. Edit text.
So actually just one VO arrow left
Name
was
and extension. Expanded.
name and extension. Here is one
Mac
area
Basics for the beginning user doc. Contents select.
where you could actually change the file name. I think it's much easier once you're on a file to press enter and then use that to rename it if that's what you want to do. But you can come into the file and then info and rename as well.
Hide extension. Unchecked. Checkbox. Comments. Collapsed. Disclosure. Open with. Expanded. Disclosure triangle.
Finally, here's what we want. Open with.
Microsoft Word. App. Default. Pop-up button.
And notice it says Microsoft Word App Default. I'm going to get into this menu with VO space.
Menu check mark. Microsoft Word. App. Default.
And down arrow, actually we'll just type T for text edit.
Text edit app.
And then VO space.
Text edit app. Pop-up button.
And what we've done is made it so that this particular file will open in TextEdit. Maybe by default you still want all of your .doc or .docs to open in Word, but you have just one that you want to open in TextEdit. You could do that, or we could VO right
Use this application to open all documents like this one.
to
Change all button.
change all. And that's what I would do. Like I said, many of my students previously or other people, had asked me about, well, how do I use Pages with VoiceOver? And it is definitely accessible. You can use all of its features with VoiceOver, but the interface has lots of components to navigate. And when you're brand new to the Mac, it might be a little bit overwhelming at first. I mean, if you want to do more heavy duty formatting, like applying headings, references like endnotes and footnotes, things like that, Pages is going to be your friend, and I almost like it better than Word on the Mac, although Word is accessible. But if you're just starting out, if you're still trying to get the hang of navigating text, or if you're just writing anything from a basic letter to a set of directions, maybe your own notes, whatever, TextEdit is the app to use. And so anyway, where I've been talking, we are on the Change All button. I'm going to press VO space. Okay,
Preview. Change all button.
there we go.
Cancel button. Are you sure you want to change all similar documents to open with the application TextEdit app? This
Yes, I
change will
do.
apply.
And I'm going to press Enter to activate my default button. Anytime you have a default button in a dialog, Enter will
Mac
activate
Basics
it.
for the beginning user doc info window. Change all.
And now I'm going to Command W to get out of this information window.
Close window. TextEdit demonstrate.
And we can do the same thing
Mac Basics for the beginning user docs.
with Mac, this other .docs file. This time, however, I'm going to do Command
Get
I,
info.
which we did before, but then VOF.
Enter search text.
Type in the
Previous
word
search.
open with.
Open.
Open, WITH, enter. If I didn't remember that it was open with, because the other day I searched for opens with, this is where you could also use item chooser to begin typing in the first few letters and see what came up. Remember, item chooser is VOI, but now I'm just going to press enter.
Open with.
And there we go. Now I can VO right.
Pages app. Default.
And
Pop-up
this one
button.
I'd set to Pages just because.
Menu check mark.
So we can do T for
TextEdit app.
TextEdit, VO space.
TextEdit app.
And
Pop-up button.
then
Use this change all button.
VO
Cancel
space,
button.
enter,
Dimmed.
Command W,
Close window.
and there we
TextEdit.
go. Now I want to actually open TextEdit. I have added TextEdit to my dock, and that is where I will go. Just as a reminder, if you want to open an application to your dock, you would go Command-Shift-A to bring up the applications folder, and then Command-Control-Shift-T. But let's do VOD,
Dock. TextEdit 6 of 25.
and enter.
Finder. TextEdit demonstrate. TextEdit. Open. Window. 00_F_ Mantis.
Okay, the first thing we get when opening TextEdit is basically a file open dialog. It shows you the folder that last had focus, probably the last folder you saved to or opened from. We are going to create a new document though, and rather than going to the file menu as Doc's article so pointed out in such detail, we're just simply going to press Command N.
New. Untitled. Window. Edit text.
And here we go. Now we're going to take a brief tour of the window and then go into TextEdit Preferences. Then I'll open a couple files so we can navigate and manipulate text and do spell check. So anyway, I'm going to go to the top with VO Home.
Ruler.
And the first thing we get into is this ruler. Well, we need to actually uninteract because the ruler, if I VO right,
Edit text.
we're in this ruler and
Ruler.
edit text. If I VO left,
Ruler. Ruler.
so I know there's more to the window than that. So I'll uninteract with VO Shift up
Out
arrow,
of scroll.
then do VO Home.
Helvetica. Font family. Pop-up button.
And the first thing
Choose the font.
in this window, rather than a toolbar, is buttons for customizing the
0.
font and formatting. Oops, I did not mean to type a 0. That's the disadvantage with having this numpad.
Document actions. Menu button.
So
Dim.
then to the left of the font, you have document actions.
In dash. Untitled RTF.
And you also have the name of the file that's open. Right now it's just called Untitled. So now if we VO
In
right,
dash. Document actions. Menu button. Dimmed. Helvetica. Regular. Typeface. Pop-up.
and I find it easier to adjust the font by going into the menu bar or doing Command T. At least in the past, I would try to make changes here, even if I selected text in the document, and it wouldn't always take. I don't know why, and maybe that's fixed, but anyway, I find it easier just to go into the menus or use keyboard commands. I'm all about those shortcuts.
12. Font size, combo box, wide. Text RGB0 text style, group.
But if you wanted to change things, or if you wanted to see what was in text style, you could interact. If we wanted to bypass it, then we could just via right.
Text alignment, radio group.
And that's the beauty of, having the choice of interacting is we can just bypass the stuff we're not interested in and interact in the stuff we want. So we can interact in alignment.
In text alignment, radio group. 4 items, align left, select align center,
And
radio
typically
button.
the things you would see in here, align center, left, right, justify,
Out of text
whatever.
align 1.0. Line spacing, pop-up button.
You can adjust the line
Line
spacing.
and paragraph spacing, list style, menu button.
You can
List
add a
bullets and number
table or list.
Scroll area.
And then at the right, we have this scroll area,
In scroll area,
which consists of our ruler
ruler, edit text,
and the text. And I like to turn the ruler off. It is a visual method for aligning text. I have attempted to use it before, though, in specifying that the first line of a paragraph should be indented 1/2 inch. And it works provided you don't accidentally get in the ruler and then you press your arrow key and you've suddenly moved that line over
Insertion
or
at
indented
end
it
of text,
further.
0.
So it's something you want to play with caution. Okay. So now I'm going to go into preferences with Command, comma, our usual.
Preferences, window, new document, selected, tab, 1 of 2.
And again, rather than have a toolbar, we have tabs here. New document.
Open and save, tab, 2 of 2.
We are going to focus on the options in new. Basically, rather than choosing a template in Pages, when Pages opens, you're asked to choose a template, unless you've already, set one up by default, and you can customize that in Pages
New
preferences.
document.
In text, I better make sure my quick nav is off.
Quick nav on.
Oh no,
Quick
it was.
nav off.
Okay, anyway, I just accidentally pressed an arrow key. All right. So in Pages, you choose a template. In TextEdit, what you're doing in these preferences is defining the formatting and font and other behaviors you want to apply to new documents by default. So here we go.
Open and save, tab, format. Use the format menu to choose settings for an open document.
Yeah, so basically all these settings, some of these settings that we're going to cover can be found in the format menu. So you can apply them to a document once it's been opened, or you start typing a document, you change your mind, whatever.
Rich text, selected, radio button, 1 of 2. Plain text, radio button, 2 of 2.
Okay, by default, TextEdit is set to create rich text documents. Rich text includes not only RTF, that is TextEdit's default format, which is why it's kind of a misnomer, I think, to call it TextEdit, because it really should be like Word Edit or RTF Edit or something, because its default file format is rich text. Other things that are considered rich text are doc and docs, and those are the files you can work with in here. I don't know, I can't think of any other rich text files, but if you're going to be, working in a majority of those types of files, you will want TextEdit to say or create rich text files. If you're going to be using a lot of TXT files, if you want TextEdit to be more like the Windows Notepad, or if you don't really care about formatting, whatever, then you may prefer just plain text. And either way, just note at least one thing that threw me off is I would try to go save something as plain text and TextEdit wouldn't let me. Well, that's because the default was rich text. And there is a way, again, as Doc's article points out, of turning rich text into plain text and vice versa. And right now it'll just sound like I'm spouting off a whole bunch of nonsensical stuff. It'll make more sense when you are actually trying to work on a document. But let's continue.
Wrap to page, unchecked, checkbox. Select to make text wrap to document margins rather than window boundaries.
Okay, wrap to page. I would actually check this option. I've left things at their defaults. That way, if I wanted to have 1-inch margins, that's pretty common or whatever, you could do that.
Checked. Window size.
These settings, I don't really
96.
think they're all
Contents
that relevant
characters.
for the window
30.
size,
Lines.
whatever.
Font.
Font.
Change button.
So I'm going to show you how to change font in a document, and you'll follow that same process if you want to define the font for new documents.
Menlo Regular 11. Plain text font.
You basically have a plain text font.
Change button. Helvetica 12. Rich text font.
And a rich text font.
Properties. Document properties are saved only with rich text files. Other. Edit. Organization. Copyright. Edit. Options. Check spelling as you type. Checked. Checkbox.
Okay, I leave on check spelling as you type. As you're reading down line by line, VoiceOver will say misspelled or whatever. It will tell you, or it can make a sound or whatever you choose, but I would leave that option.
Smart copy / paste. Checked. Checkbox.
I've never really been sure exactly what smart copy and paste is, but it's one of those things that is in Word and other word processors.
Check grammar with spelling. Unchecked. Checkbox.
I check this by default, although I don't know why I do exactly because grammar check is kind of a hit and miss thing.
Checked.
But I'll just check it anyway.
Smart quotes. Unchecked. Checkbox. Correct spelling automatically. Unchecked. Checkbox.
Correct spelling automatically. I prefer to have it unchecked. It is by default. I don't know if it would be checked if you had autocorrect enabled elsewhere on the Mac, because I know that in system preferences and then keyboard and text replacement, I think you can enable autocorrect there, or you used to be able to. But basically, if I have to proofread a document, I only want to have to proofread my mistakes. I don't want to have to proofread the autocorrect, or maybe it's just not having enough confidence in the machine. If you want to use autocorrect, it is doable with VoiceOver. You just go to make sure your cursor is to the right of the word, and if you hear it make a little whatever sound, I don't know how to describe it, but you would down arrow to see the autocorrect suggestions to get into that list, and then left and right to move among the suggestions. So anyway, you can play with that.
Smart dashes unchecked. Checkbox. Show ruler checked. Checkbox.
I am going to turn show ruler off. Some of these settings I'm just leaving as they are.
Unchecked. Smart links unchecked. Checkbox.
Smart links, I think that actually, if it detects that you're writing like HTTP something, it puts it in a special font or does something so it looks like a link. I've left that. I've checked it before.
Data detectors unchecked. Text replacement checked. Smart quotes and dashes in rich text documents only checked. Checkbox.
I undo the smart stuff,
unchecked.
But whatever, you can
check
do
and correct spelling in rich text documents only. Uncheck. Restore all defaults button. Restore all defaults.
And then there's a restore defaults. Okay. The options in open mainly pertain to like encoding and things that just don't really need to bother most of us. There is one thing about adding a .txt when you're working in plain text, and you may or may not want that depending on also whether you are editing an HTML file. So anyway, let's get out of preferences with Command W.
Close. Untitled RTF window. Edit text insertion at end of text.
I don't
0.
think so. Oh, let me delete that 0. One task we did not get to when we covered Siri and dictation was actually dictating. And so just as a reminder, you can set your dictation preferences in system preferences, keyboard, and then dictation. I have specified my key to be the FN key. And so pressing it twice, whatever key you have set, will start dictation. Pressing it once will stop. And so we could just do something like this. This is a test, period, new paragraph. Hello, comma, new paragraph. Where's my ice cream? Question mark, smiley. Okay, well, it should have dictated, but
Edit text. Ruler.
it
Edit text.
decided it didn't want to work. So yeah,
Show
even though it
ruler.
worked fine in my demo, that's not the point. The point is to show you that dictation does indeed work, and it does put in basic things like emojis. I don't know which emojis it uses. You can tell it to do new paragraph. I think you have more commands available to you if you have voice control enabled, but so like commands for selecting text, bolding, formatting, whatever. But anyway, I don't really use dictation, so you'll have to play with that. Now let's open a file, and I'm actually going to do that from the File menu and go into Open Recent. So if I do VOM
Menu bar. Apple.
and then the letter F
File.
and down to Open Recent,
File menu. New command. Open ellipsis. Open recent. Submenu.
right arrow to expand.
Open recent. Submenu. Untitled RTF.
And before we get there, I just copied some, well, not copied, took down some text from a David Woodbridge demonstration from a few years ago that unfortunately is no longer available, where he was demonstrating what I'm about to show, how to move around text, read, select, all of that good stuff.
Text edit demonstration RTF.
So I'll press enter.
Edit text edit demonstration RTF. Text edit demonstration RTF. Window. Edit text insertion at beginning of text. Text edit demonstration. This is the first sentence of the first paragraph. This is the second sentence of the first paragraph.
All right, we get the idea. So if we wanted to have VoiceOver keep reading, well, I could just press Control again, but the same commands for reading all, like I mentioned in Safari, VOA reads all from your current position to the end, and VOB reads from the beginning to your current cursor position. That one is not as well used, but
Text
let's
edit.
say
This
if
is
I
the
wanted to
first
go down,
paragraph. This is the.
if I wanted to go down and just randomly, so if I did VOB, okay, so that doesn't work. And the only way it does work is if you interact
In edit text.
and then you would do VOB.
Text edit demonstration. This is the first sentence of the first paragraph. This is the second sentence of the first paragraph. This is the.
And there you go. The same thing. If you try to have VoiceOver read the next and previous sentences or in paragraphs, those commands work only if you are interacted. So some of the reading commands work, and why you would have VoiceOver read the next and previous sentences, I don't know. Just be aware that if you can't get a reading or navigation, mainly a reading command to work, you may need to interact. But most of the time, what you'll need to do can be done sufficiently without interacting. Okay, but actually, how do we navigate and move around this file? Well, we can go to the top with Command up arrow.
Text edit.
And that takes us, well, not to the top of the window, but to the top of the text. So the first line. Command down arrow goes to the very end after the last word.
End.
Command left arrow goes to the beginning of the line. And command right arrow goes to the end of the line.
End.
Okay, let's go back up to the top.
Text edit.
And next we can navigate by character, word, line, and paragraph. So you've probably guessed it. The right arrow moves forward a character.
Cap. T-E-X-T.
And noting that VoiceOver speaks the text the cursor passes. So if we do left arrow,
T.
we heard T again. That's because as we were coming forward, VoiceOver passed the T. As we're going back, it kind of repasses the T. So right now, it would be, if I was to press backspace, we delete the letter X, and it does actually tell us that.
X.
It uses a lower pitch. I'm going to put the, if I didn't mean to delete that, I could just press Command Z.
X.
And anyway, so then Option right arrow moves forward a word, and it's going to read us the rest of the word, text edit.
X. Unselected, insertion at end of word, text edit.
Okay, so it actually, it might have read something like Xedit or something. Anyway, option right arrow.
Demonstration.
And so then we would be to the right of the letter N. If we do option left arrow, it goes back.
Demonstration.
And you can also move up and down by line with the up and down arrow. One thing you can do as well is move by paragraph. So Option down arrow will take you to the next paragraph.
TextEdit demonstration.
So that just put us at the end of that. But if I did Option down arrow again,
Paragraph. This is the last sentence of the first paragraph.
and so it only moves the cursor. It doesn't actually read the paragraph. Okay, but let's go to the beginning of the line with Command left arrow.
Paragraph.
And now let's talk about VO commands. Technically, so VOC will read the character.
Space.
Oh, well, it's only gonna, yeah, let's right arrow so I can.
P.
Okay, now VOC. If you press VOC again,
Papa.
it gives the phonetic. VOW once reads the word.
Paragraph.
Again, spells the word.
Paragraph. Period.
And a third time will give you the phonetic. VOL reads your line.
Paragraph. This is the last sentence of the first paragraph.
VOS reads your sentence.
This is the second sentence of the first paragraph.
And you guessed it, VOP reads your paragraph. Okay, if you want to actually read the previous sentence, you would do VO command page up. And okay, I've been teaching this Mac class for a couple years now. I've always had to look up the commands before I taught. This is the first time I haven't had to look up. Just to show you, I barely use the sentence and paragraph commands. But so the previous sentence is VO command page up, or if you're on your Mac laptop keyboard, or just a keyboard without, well, I guess all of them probably have function. Well, not all of them have the extended keyboard, but anyway, it's VO command FN up arrow, or VO command page up.
This is the first sentence of the first paragraph.
And then all those keys plus down arrow or page down, read your next sentence. With the paragraph, it is VO shift page up or VO shift FN up arrow to read your previous paragraph.
TextEdit demonstration.
And then VO shift page down or VOFN shift down arrow to read your next paragraph. Okay, that's all well and good. So how about selecting? We can select everything with Command A, select all. We can also do more fine-tuned selection. If you can select by character. You read with the right arrow, you select by adding shift. So we could do
Cap TEXT. Selected.
And we can always confirm what's selected by pressing VO F6.
Text. Selected.
All right. And then I can just press any arrow key to undo that selection.
Text.
And if we want to select by word, well, you guessed it. It's Option Shift right arrow.
TextEdit. Demonstration.
And
Selected.
then if, let's say, I didn't mean to select demonstration, I could do Option Shift left arrow.
Demonstration.
And there we go.
Unselected.
That undoes it. Okay.
TextEdit.
If you want to, you can also
This is-
select by paragraph. So we could do Option Shift down arrow.
This is the first sentence of the first paragraph. This is the second sentence of the first paragraph. This is the last sentence of the first paragraph. Selected.
Okay, and there you go.
This is
we
the
can undo that. And
first sentence
if you
of
want to select all from maybe your current position, maybe you've gone somewhere in the middle of the line. So
this is the first.
maybe I want to select from
First.
to the end of the line. So I could do Command Shift right arrow.
First sentence of the first paragraph. This is the second sentence of the first.
All right, you kind of get the idea. Sorry, I didn't mean to press Control, but that's not a very good, maybe let's say one example. Let's say you do select all on a page in Safari, and you realize that you don't need the first,
Sentence of the first paragraph.
few pages or something. So basically what you could do is find where you need.
This is the paragraph.
So let's say I just found something in the middle here. I could do Command Shift down arrow to select from my current position to the end of the file. I was doing Command Shift right arrow to select from my current position to the end of the line. But if you wanted to do a bigger chunk, you could do Command Shift down arrow. Or Command Shift up arrow if you find something in the middle of the file where you need to stop, and then you can select from there up to the top. So anyway, those are your selection commands, and the more you have an opportunity to edit, the more you'll be able to, this will make sense. So now I want to show you a couple of things in the format menu, and then we will actually make some changes to this document. So VOM,
Menu bar, Apple,
and then I'm going to go over to format.
text edit, file, edit, format, view,
Oops,
format,
I went too far. Okay, if I down arrow,
format, menu, font, submenu,
we have font and well, we'll
font,
just go through that real
submenu, show
quick.
fonts command, T, bold command, B, italic command, I.
So besides going to these menus, you can use the keyboard shortcuts. That would have made Doc's article a bit less lengthy. But, you know, things do change, and it was a good resource still to find to get our minds working.
Underline command, U, outline, styles ellipsis, bigger command, plus, smaller command, hyphen, kern, submenu,
All right, so
format,
then we
menu,
can,
text,
the other
submenu,
thing we can go to is text.
text, submenu, check mark, align left command, left brace, center command, vertical line,
Vertical line is actually shift and the backslash, which is right below the backspace key.
justify, align right command, right brace, writing direction, show ruler command, R, copy ruler command, control, C, paste ruler command, control, V,
All right, that's
format, make plain text command, shift, T,
so you can make something plain text by pressing Command Shift T. If it is already plain text, you can also make it rich text with Command Shift T. So that just toggles whether it is plain or rich text.
prevent editing, wrapped window command, shift, W, allow hyphenation, make layout vertical, list ellipsis,
All right, some of these things I'm not
table
familiar
ellipsis,
with, but
edit
anyway,
text,
okay. So I'm going to select all, and then we're going to apply fonts, and then I'm going to show you how we can get VoiceOver to read the font changes. So if I do Command A,
text edit demonstration,
and let's press Control to silence that, I'm now going to do Command T, as our menu helpfully said, to show fonts.
show fonts, window, head button,
All right.
remove button, family, typeface, size,
And it's just telling us what the category things are here first before we actually get into the boxes.
collection list, table, row 1 of 10, all fonts, family list, table, row 73 of 186, Helvetica, select,
Okay, in general, I'm familiar with making things Times New Roman, so that's what I'll do, TIM.
Times New Roman,
And then if I VO right,
typeface list, table, row 1 of 4, regular, selected,
you have regular, italic, bold italic, things like that.
12, contents selected, edit text,
Okay, let's say I want to make this 14, so I'll just type in 14.
selection replaced, 14,
I could then VO right.
size list, table, row 6 of 15, 14,
If I didn't want to type 14, I could have selected something in the size list. I think just typing in a value is easier, but that's just me.
14%, vertical slider,
And you can also adjust this vertical slider. Okay, I am done. So at this point, I could press Command T again to close it.
hide fonts, tab text edit demonstration RTF, edit text contents selected,
Okay, I am now going to up arrow just to
text
unselect
edit
everything. Okay, and let's say we want to actually make this first line. We want to center it, we want to bold it, and we want to increase the font to 18. So how would I do that? Well, first of all, let me turn on some things in the VoiceOver verbosity. I mentioned this the second week, but a quick way to adjust how VoiceOver indicates punctuation and what we type and all that is to go into VoiceOver verbosity with VOV.
adjust punctuation, sum,
I'm going to change mine to all, and I'm going to up arrow. I think that's the way. You can either up arrow or down arrow. If it doesn't get to what you want, try the other direction.
all,
There we go. I'm now going to right arrow.
typing echo, words,
I'll leave that.
text attributes, do nothing,
And I want it to speak, at least for now, so I'm going to up arrow. Oops.
play tone,
There we go.
speak,
Okay. And
numbers, words,
I don't think I want to adjust anything else, so I'm just going to press Escape. I could also press Enter.
Stop adjusting numbers.
Okay, now I want to go to the top with Command up arrow. I guess I was already there. Shift down arrow selects the current line.
1 selected. Text edit demonstration new line. Selected.
All right, and I'm going to center the line by typing Command Shift backslash, or as it calls it, Command vertical line.
Center checked. Align center.
And I'm going to bold with Command B.
Bold checked.
And I'm going to
Bold.
increase the font by typing Command plus, or well, I think it's Command equal. So if I do Command, no, it's Command plus. So Command Shift equals.
Align right checked. Align right.
No, let's not do that. Oh, I must be hitting the wrong key.
Center checked.
Okay, I was.
Align
All right.
center. Bigger.
There we go.
15
Command
point.
plus.
Bigger.
So as I press
16
the
point.
key, there's a bit of delay between when I press it and what VoiceOver announces.
Bigger. 18 point.
Okay, great. And so if I read my current line.
Text edit demonstration new line.
And if I down arrow.
Text edit demonstration new line.
Okay.
Unplain 14 point. Align left. First paragraph period. This is the last sentence of the first paragraph.
Okay,
period.
I think I'd accidentally skipped a line. So if I go back up, press up arrow.
This is the first sentence of the first paragraph period. This is the second sentence. Bold 18 point. Align center. Text edit demonstration new line.
Now, if you didn't want to turn on the announcement of attributes, and I'll show you where it can kind of be annoying, but one way to find out the font at your and formatting at your cursor location is VOT. VOT for text attributes.
Bold 18 point Times New Roman. Align center.
And there we go. Let's say if we wanted to, I don't know, make the word last all uppercase. Well, we could do that
Plain 14.
just as another kind of demo.
This.
So if I'm at the beginning of the line, I could do Option right arrow.
This.
Actually, I need to go to the next line.
First paragraph period. This is the last sentence of the first paragraph. First.
Okay, so now I'm at the beginning of the line. If I do Option right arrow.
First paragraph period is the.
Now, if I do Option Shift right arrow.
1 selected. Last. Selected.
And you can go, let's say I wanted to make that all uppercase. Well, there's a couple ways to do that. We could like
Menu.
do VO Shift M.
Look up left translate insert cut. Copy paste share font spelling and substitution transformations submenu make uppercase.
And there we go.
Edit text. Last
But
is
VoiceOver
selected.
is probably not going to tell you, but that's just, one way of, you probably wouldn't actually do that in a document. Maybe I want to cut off part of this document and put it into the next document. Sometimes you might want to do that, and there's commands for pasting and matching style, or pasting, keeping the original format. This is a little bit, right here we're just doing some basic stuff, but anyway, the next file I want us to open is my spell check demonstration, and I'm just going to go over, I still have the folder open in the Finder, so I'm going to Command Tab.
Finder. Text edit.
And type SP.
12 point dot. Apple System UI font. Wide. Spell check demonstration.
Okay, so right away there we know that VoiceOver is speaking the text attributes, which we really don't need spoken when we're interacting in the Finder or going into menus or whatever. So that's why we can do VOV.
Numbers menu. 2 items.
I'll just left arrow. It doesn't matter which arrow I press.
Text attributes. Speak.
And I'll down arrow.
Play.
Do
Do
nothing.
nothing.
Enter.
Stop adjusting.
VoiceOver is very sluggish when going through the verbosity menu, I guess as it was when going through the speech attributes. So anyway, I am
Spell check demonstration period. RTF.
on the spell check demonstration. So now I'm going to Command down arrow to open it.
Spell check demonstration period. RTF. Window. Edit text insertion at beginning.
Now I had to deliberately misspell a bunch of words in here. So anyway, there are 2 methods of spell check. One, well, let me just go into spelling and grammar. So I'm going
Menu
to the
bar,
edit menu,
Apple.
and then over to
TextEdit, File,
Edit.
Edit, Undo, Redo, Cut, Copy, Paste and Delete, Complete, Select all, Insert, Attach, Add Link, Find, Spelling and Grammar,
I
Submenu.
guess I could have just typed SP. That would have. But anyway, if we right arrow.
Spelling and Grammar, Submenu, Show Spelling and Grammar Command, :
Okay, this is the traditional spelling and grammar check. We'll come back to that.
Check Document Now Command, semicolon, check mark, check spelling while typing, check mark, check grammar with spelling, correct spelling automatically, show spelling and grammar command, :
And so you can turn on the correct spelling automatically. You can turn that on a document by document basis. But anyway, let's
correct show spelling and grammar command.
Show spelling and grammar. I'll press enter.
Spelling and grammar window.
Okay. So right away, we don't know what word we are on. So if I VO left,
spelling and grammar,
and then VO right.
Demonstration.
All
Content
right.
selected, edit text.
And I could see how I have chosen to spell it. We can do VOWW.
Demonstration.
Yeah, I was really trying. Okay.
Change button default.
And we have a change button, but we don't know what we're changing it to.
Text. This word was not found in the spelling dictionary
So
period.
I am just continuing to press VO right several times.
Find next button. Suggested corrections table, row 1 of 1. Demonstration selected.
And I could do
choose one of the suggested
W
demonstration.
To hear the spelling.
Demonstration.
All right, that sounds good. If I press enter.
Spell check. Content selected, edit text.
Now let's try oh, that's right. No, I have tried. I was about to say, let's try VOJ. But I think that would actually take me out of this window. We'll just try it anyway.
Text. This word was not found in the spelling dictionary period.
Again.
In suggested corrections table.
Okay, so technically that works too. But the thing with that is it's just not as convenient. You don't have any quick little shortcuts for, let's say you didn't even want to come in here and look at the suggestion and you just wanted to, like in Word, for instance, you can do Alt-L or, Alt-G to ignore, things like that. Well, I think our best solution on the Mac, and here's where Mac definitely beats Windows, although I've heard of being able to do some of this in Windows.
Tab spell check demonstrate.
I've gotten out of this, and if I just do Command semicolon, that is the command for check document now. It takes us through one error at a time. So if I go to the top with Command up arrow, and now if I do Command semicolon.
Misspelled. Spell check. Selected.
Not only can I see the word, but we can read the sentence that it's in. So if I do VOS.
This is a demonstration of misspelled spell check for the Mac. Misspelled training program period.
Okay, great. So we already get a little bit more context, which we are not given in that spelling and grammar or whatever we had. So what we can do here is bring up the spelling suggestions with VO Shift M. So that's why your context menu command is really important. So rather than having to VO right all over the place or VOJ, all you have to do is VO Shift M.
Menu.
Down arrow.
Sepulcher.
Oh boy. Okay. And even in the menus, we can figure out what the spelling is by doing VOW twice.
Sepulcher. SEPULCHER.
That was probably a little bit more appropriate for Halloween, inadvertently, but okay.
Ignore spelling.
Or we can ignore
Learn
the spelling. Well, that's not...
Look up left double quotation mark spell check.
Exactly what we had in mind. So I'm going to press Escape.
Edit text misspell.
And we are going to use our special text editing commands we've newly acquired. I'll press left arrow. It's going to say unselected.
Misspelled. Spell check. Unselected. Insertion at beginning of word. Spell check.
All right. And now if I right arrow.
S.
We're to the right of S. If I keep going.
P-E-L.
And
C.
Oh, all right. Right away, I know that I am missing an L. So if I'm left arrow.
C.
I am now to the left of C. I'll put in this extra L. And then I'll continue on.
C-H-E-K.
Oh, we needed another C there. Or, well, we need a C. So let's left arrow.
K.
And then put the C here.
Spell
And
check.
There we go. Now that should be good. If I just go up a
This is a
line, you don't necessarily have to go to the top each time. You can do command semicolon and it will take you from your current position, but we'll just go back
This
to
is
the
a
beginning. So it shows that we have indeed corrected the word. So command semicolon.
misspelled. Training. Selected.
And let's say, have we misspelled training? If we do VOW
Misspelled. Training.
and a VOW again,
TRANEING.
and then let's do VO Shift M,
Menu.
down arrow,
Training.
VOWW.
Training. TRAINING.
That sounds good.
Edit text. Training. Is selected.
Okay. And if we do one more command semicolon,
Selected.
oh, well, it sounds right to me. I know. Anyway, VOW.
There. Cap. THEIR.
Wrong there, you weirdo. That is me. Okay, so VO Shift M,
Menu.
down arrow.
They apostrophe re.
No, that's not what we want.
There.
Let's see,
There.
VOWW.
THERE.
All right, you get the idea. So if I press enter,
Edit text. There is selected. This is a demonstration of spell check for the
But-
Mac training program period. There are misspelled. Several. Misspelled.
if you notice, it didn't say capital T, which is very odd. So if I
There.
just go up a
This is a
line,
my docu.
and if I do
This is a dem.
command semicolon,
There. Selected.
and
There. THERE.
for some reason, it didn't give me a capitalized suggestion. I don't know if that's a quirk, but we would just go into the menu,
There. There. Cap. THERE.
which I did, VO Shift M, down arrow, press enter
Edit text. There.
to fix it. Okay. So now let's talk about saving. And I guess I shouldn't have saved this for last. Oh, saved for last saving. All right. Anyway, Control Tab is you can generally move between open documents and TextEdit with Command Accent or Control Tab, depending on if you've set whether you always prefer tabs or windows or whatever. So I have it as Control Tab.
Show next tab. Tab untitled RTF. Edit text.
Okay, so let's just call this TextEdit mess or weirdness or whatever. Anyway, the quick way to save is Command S. Let's do that.
Save ellipsis. In dialog. Save. Untitled period. RTF.
So here I could just type in my file name. I'm going to type in
Selection replaced.
TextEdit,
T period. RTF. Text
TextEdit
edit period. RTF.
mess.
Mess
And
period. RTF.
let's then see. So we could actually just press enter and it would save, but we don't know where it's being saved to. So that's really all you need to do is type in your name, press enter, and it will save to the last folder that you had, or by default, it should go to your documents folder. But if we can choose,
Cap. T. Back button. Forward. Column view. Menu button.
so I am just VO, and by the way, choosing column view is totally optional. You don't have to select the column view in this menu. I don't know where the person got that little bit of info, but you don't have to. You can set this to list view if you want.
Change the item grouping. Left parenthesis. Hold down option to change the sort. Right parenthesis. Menu button.
Oh, I see. Okay. Anyway, it's still reading all punctuation.
Afmantisk 40 days. Show less option. Afmantisk 40 days. The audio documentation. Where colon. Pop up button.
Okay. I don't know why it would have saved. I downloaded the manual for the Mantis because I was curious several weeks ago. But that's not the point. I don't want anything to save in there. So let's go into this menu. This is the Where pop-up menu. I'm not sure why it's not labeled that way, but normally it is. If I VO
Menu.
space,
Check mark. Afmantis iCloud Drive. TextEdit M-iCloud. Focus questions.
these are all folders I've saved to recently.
Text edit demonstration.
And so let's just press enter on that.
Text edit demonstration.
And then
Where colon. Pop up button.
if we press enter,
Edit text.
it's saved. And so that is a quick way to save a file. Okay, now let's go to the other document that's open.
Show next tab. Tab text edit demonstration. Show next tab. Tab spell check demonstration art.
Okay, and I have modified, actually, yeah, I've modified this file. So
TF.
I want to show you actually something in the file menu. If we do
Menu
VOM
bar. Apple.
and then go over to
TextEdit. File.
and down
File.
arrow,
Menu. New command. Open ellipse. Open reset. Close window. Close tab. Save command. S.
we could save, but that would just save the file as is. It would, just save the changes that we made, which I don't want to do. But another option,
Duplicate command Shift S.
you could save the file or basically duplicate it. So it would be the exact same file. I think it would save copy at the end, and then later on you could go into save, and then, oh boy. All right, anyway. But one thing I learned is if you hold down the Option key, duplicate becomes save as. And the reason you want it to be save as is so that way you can actually choose a different file format if you wish. And you can choose a name right off. Because if you go to duplicate, that's fine, but it doesn't let you actually change the name until you do duplicate, and then you have to do Command S after you go to duplicate. So it's just an extra step. So what I like to do is the save as. So if I hold down the
Save as
Option
ellipsis
key
command Shift Option S.
and it says save as ellipsis command Shift Option S. So I could actually do that without even coming into the menu. Command Shift Option S, but I'm still holding down the Option key as I press Enter.
Save as ellipsis. In dialog, save. Spell check demonstration period, RTF.
So I want to change the location and I want to change the file format. So how am I going to do that?
Back button, forward, column, change the text edit demonstrate, show less options, expanded, disclose.
Yours may say show more options, collapsed, triangle. You will want to VO space on that, and so
Text
that it actually says
show less options, expanded.
Show less options. Why? Because we actually need to choose where we're going to save the file.
Search text field, sidebar, table.
Okay, now I could choose a location in my sidebar, and that might be the easiest. Maybe, let's say we interact in our sidebar.
Dropbox, level 2.
Okay, so yeah,
Actions
maybe we
available.
choose Dropbox. It's easy enough to get to in the sidebar. And
out of sidebar table, vertical split column view, browser.
And then I could actually choose my folder. I could type CH.
Chanel group.
And then I could press from here, that folder is selected. I could press Enter to save.
Edit text.
And I will do
there
that.
Is selected. This is a demonstration of spell check for the Mac Training.
Oh, but I forgot to choose a different file format. Okay, so let's do that again. I did genuinely forget. Command Shift Option S.
Save as ellipsis. In dialog, save. Spell.
And this time, I'm going to jump to the end with VO
Save
end.
button. Cancel. New folder. But rich text document. File format : pop-up button.
And I'm
Menu
going to choose
rich
the
text
format.
web page. Web archive. Open. Word 2007.
I'm just
left
down
parenthesis
arrowing.
period. Docs right parenthesis.
I'll do VO
document.
space.
Word 2000 column view. Browser.
But let's say I want to actually save it in my documents. So rather than finding that in the sidebar, all I have to do is Command Shift O.
List.
And it's showing documents. It doesn't tell you that, but if we VO left.
Vertical split sidebar. Search text. Show less option. Documents iCloud. Where : pop
and
up.
so,
Show
or
search
I
sidebar.
could, if
Vertical
I wanted
split
to
column
change
view.
it
Browser.
to downloads, all I'd have to do Command Option L.
Empty list. Vertical
and then if I did
search show left downloads. Where
so you do not have to go into the sidebar. That is totally optional. Anyway,
save button.
I'm going to now just VO space
Edit
on
text.
save.
There.
And there we go.
Finder.
I am
Zoom
now
period.
going to
Zoom.
open this up for questions. And there we go. Does anyone have any questions? Okay. I think I allowed everybody
This
to.
is Doc.
Yeah, Doc, go ahead.
one thing I just wanted to mention is that the same method that you used in saving, you can still start off and do it while in TextEdit to go find a file that you're looking for.
Yep, you can.
Doing your Command O.
Very good. Yep. I just happened to have my Finder open and it was easier. But
Yeah.
yeah, I totally the same method we talked about for saving. That's how you would open a file using either your Where pop-up button or your sidebar or whatever, and you'd find a file that way. So very good. Anyone else? All right. Well,
You
I,
have a relaxing voice, Chanel. You may have just
what?
you have a relaxing voice, so you may have just got them relaxed.
I know. Well, this is pretty boring. I know, but um, hopefully, you'll be able to go back and review it later, and it will be good.
Yeah, well, see, I've been this is what I've been using for my project, so because it gave me a reason to use the Mac.
Awesome.
This is Shri.
Yeah, Shri.
I may be jumping the gun on this, but with TextEdit, does it, when you work on something, does it keep a log of like changes?
I think so, yeah. So I can, do Command W to close the file, and it'll say, "Do you wish to save?" or actually, it'll give you the choice to revert or to save. I think though you can actually set something in System Preferences and General where it'll, ask to save changes, and if that is unchecked, it will just automatically save your changes. Um, but yeah, I do think somewhere definitely, particularly if you back up to iCloud, but I think just in general, a version of your changes would be kept. I'm not, or whatever, a record. I don't think it has track changes or anything like that, but
So if you and I were working on the same text file, would it tell me that you made these changes on TextEdit or no?
I don't think so. I don't think it would do that in TextEdit. That's where you probably would need pages.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was a good presentation. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you. All right. Well, if no one has any questions, I know somebody who's cheering on the Braves because I hear, cheering going on from the other room. So, um, yeah. And thank you for coming in, Michelle.
Yes, I'm
And
sorry I didn't get to say anything at the beginning. My grandson was here still, and he left a couple of minutes after you started. But I was listening the whole time. So
okay, great. Thank you. So next week, everyone, we will be tackling mail and adding accounts. Probably, I end up doing that a little bit later. I don't know. I try to make it so in mail we can get right to reading and all that stuff. But anyway, I will look forward to seeing you next week and have a wonderful week, everyone.
thank you.
Oh, and don't forget
Chanel.
about the Mac Buzz tomorrow from 5 to 7. If you're on Clubhouse, even if you're not, it's a great motivation to get on Clubhouse, and we tackle any and all Mac questions. So come on in for that.
Hey, Chanel.
Yes.
You might want to ask them if they need invitation because some of them may not have. I guess it's not. You don't need it anymore, right?
No, I don't think you do need it. You just find the Clubhouse app in the App Store. I don't think you need an invitation,
Yeah.
but
Okay. Yeah. I think that's gone. That part is.
I could be wrong. And if we find out I am, then darn.
No.
But
I think you're right. I do recall somewhere we mentioned you don't need indentation anymore.
Okay, great. All right, well, see you there. Talk to you later, everyone.
All right, you guys have a nice
Bye,
night.
Chanel.
Chanel.
Good
Yep.
night.
Good night.